Ladies and gentlemen, we are less than 2 weeks away from Black Ops Cold War in our hands. But in this video, we are going to be diving into a 10-year mystery that Treyarch started in the original Black Ops, and 10 years later, we might get an explanation. And this mystery would have changed the history of the Black Ops storyline, as Jason Hudson, Grigori Weaver, and Alex Mason were supposed to be assassinated 3 years before the events of Black Ops Cold War. It's an incredible Easter egg put in Black Ops 1 that I don't think any of you guys will remember. That's what we do here on the channel. We leave no stone unturned covering everything Black Ops Cold War here on the channel, and a 10-year mystery you're definitely going to want to know. But if you do go on to enjoy this video, you're already in the right place. Be sure to subscribe for more amazing Easter eggs like this. And if you didn't know about this mystery, then let me know by dropping a like on the video. Now, what we're talking about today is so secretive that I don't even think Treyarch want to talk about it. So what is it, you ask? Well, we are going to be talking about a top secret CIA mission to track down and kill Alex Mason, Jason Hudson, and Grigori Weaver in 1978, 10 years after the original Black Ops and 3 years before Black Ops Cold War. That's a pretty big bombshell in itself. They were supposed to be assassinated, but this is crazy because they worked for the CIA and helped stop Nova 6 and Steiner. So why was this going to happen? Well, in the final intel you can collect in the Black Ops 1 campaign, you find a top secret CIA document sent from someone called Ryan Jackson, who worked as a CIA analyst assisting the team on Operation 40, the Studies and Observation Group, and intel of all manners relating and surrounding Project Nova. After the evidence amassed to date since the end of Black Ops 1, it was clear that they could not rely on Alex Mason due to the unreliability in his mental state. Furthermore, his supporters Jason Hudson and Grigori Weaver were clear and present threats to national security. And in conjunction with MI6, they assigned a joint operational team to deal with the problem at hand. Now, from what we know of this operation, the CIA analyst Ryan Jackson was to join the task force as an advisor due to his extensive knowledge of the targets, how he handled their reports and analysis of the entirety of Black Ops 1's events, but he was going to be joined by a young Special Air Service operator, and this is where things get insanely weird. Now, we are living in times where modern warfare and Black Ops' universes are colliding, but in 2010, the Special Air Service operator as part of this mission was none other than Jonathan Pryce. That's right. There was someone called Jonathan Pryce involved in this mission. And who do we know from Modern Warfare? Captain John Pryce. You can see it there in the intel. The name is Jonathan Blank, but we know that it's Jonathan Pryce. This would be the perfect way to explain an official campaign crossover, as the storyline for this has existed for well over 10 years now. And 10 years later, we know nothing about the outcome of this mission or the fate of its participants, because as of 30th of October 1978, the operation was still in the preparation phase, with Ryan Jackson's temporary field operative status only having been approved days before. So it can only be assumed that the mission either failed or was dissolved, as the events from Black Ops 2 obviously show that Hudson and Mason to still be alive many years after the operation took place. And if we look at the Black Ops Cold War trailer, we know that the main part of the campaign is set in 1981, 3 years after this operation had happened. And we learn straight away in Black Ops 2 that Hudson is still employed by the CIA, using Alex Mason along with him and Frank Woods. But that's not all, because we know that Grigori Weaver also survived this, as he plays a crucial role in the dark ether story of Black Ops Cold War Zombies. As 15 years after the death of Dragovich, Weaver was assigned to become the leader of the CIA organization known as Requiem, which specialized in dealing with anomalies and zombie outbreaks. He was soon contacted by Samantha Maxis, a close confidant of his who worked in the German BND, and sent a videotape regarding a zombie outbreak at the abandoned Project N Station facility in Poland. But my mind is still blown at the fact that there was someone involved called Jonathan Pryce, who worked for the British Special Air Service and is British, just like the Captain Pryce from Modern Warfare. And to go one step further, in the French version of Call of Duty Black Ops, the intel we looked at refers this character as Jonathan and Pryce. Like, Treyarch really did that 10 years ago. And here we are in a world where they collide. This is so weird. And what you're probably wondering is between the ending of Black Ops 1 and going into Cold War, what happened for the CIA to turn on Mason like this? Especially considering how messed up he was in Black Ops 1, you'd expect that he didn't return to normality just like that. And I really hope we get to see that development in Black Ops Cold War, but we can look to the CIA data server on Black Ops 1 to explain and fill in some gaps. So after the ending of Black Ops 1, Weaver sent an email to Hudson saying that he caught Mason puking again, and it wasn't the first time. He's still jittery, he's still mumbling to himself, he's still got headaches, and that is apparently not a big deal. But essentially, he wanted to get Hudson to have a word with him and get Mason to retire, to take it easy, and that he'll only listen to Hudson. 10 years later, Mason receives a mystery email from someone called X, telling him that Woods is still alive and remains the sole remaining American guest at the Hanoi Hilton. However, this doesn't make any sense, as Woods was transferred from the Hanoi Hilton to Da Nang and escaped in 1972, 6 years before Mason received that email. Well, a few days prior, Mason received another email that said Clark was intending to hide in Johannesburg. He has a brother there. It's a good place to start. X. Now, Clark is referring to Daniel Clark. He was the freelance scientist working for Steiner in stabilizing Nova 6, who was killed in the mission Numbers as he tried to flee across the rooftops, knowing Steiner had no further use for him and needed to tie up loose ends. Now, the email said that Clark was intending to hide in Johannesburg, so Alex Mason headed for Johannesburg in search of Daniel Clark's brother, perhaps on some sort of mission to track down and kill him due to a potential connection to Project Nova. Now, this hasn't happened in a Black Ops game yet, but we know it did happen thanks to an email from Hudson to Alex Mason in 1978 with the subject heading "Don't do it." Mason, I saw the report and I know what you're thinking. Stay away from Johannesburg. You got that? They're watching you, especially that Kane guy up in S.A.D. He's just dying for you to blow it. Don't give him the excuse. Stay away from Johannesburg, Mason. Stay away. Now, it's clear to see after the events of Black Ops 1, the relationship and bond that Hudson and Mason has grown a lot stronger. With Mason going to Johannesburg, Hudson and Weaver followed him there. And this is the moment where Richard Kane, the Associate Deputy Director of the CIA, deemed Mason's actions a danger to national security, which is why he wanted to kill Mason and Hudson and Weaver since they were involved. But how did Hudson know that this Richard Kane was watching them? Well, the mysterious X character told him in an email. June 19, 1978, Mr. Hudson, do not trust D. King. He reports directly to Richard Kane. Kane has eyes on you. Be wary. Now, Richard Kane was the one leading all of the black operations performed throughout the Black Ops 1 campaign, but working along him was Ryan Jackson, the chief analyst in the CIA, the one who directly wanted to kill Mason. And in an email in 1963, requested the CIA to reassess Mason's field status, which was denied, and that Mason offered the agency the best opportunity to track down and eliminate Dragovich, and essentially told him off, saying to leave Mason alone. That tells us Jackson did not trust Mason right from the beginning. And if we go all the way to 1978, Kane promoted Ryan Jackson to being his special assistant. Soon after, Mason, Hudson, and Weaver leave to go to Johannesburg, and that's when Kane asks Jackson compile all known information on Nova 6 and then forwards the details of Operation Charybdis to Jackson, which at this point Jackson requests temporary field status for the operation. He wants to take part in this to take down Mason himself. This is now a personal vendetta against Mason. And this is the final email we see in the CIA data server where his request for field status is approved. Now, he understands that his efforts over the last few years with the Mason affair have not gone unnoticed. But jumping to Black Ops Cold War 3 years later and Black Ops 2 a further 5 years later, Mason and Hudson are still alive, but clearly the plan didn't work. But what is really weird is it seems that Treyarch are almost retconning this from ever happening in the Black Ops storyline, as we've been given a tiny brief bit of intel on what happens next in Black Ops Cold War for Mason, and his story fast forwards to January 8th, 1981. This is 3 years after this operation was supposed to take place. Mason receives an unexpected phone call from Hudson, who wants to get the old team back together. If Mason will return as a CIA operative, he's to immediately report to Amsterdam to rendezvous with his former partner Sergeant Frank Woods, along with the mysterious operative Russell Adler. As it turns out, a covert mission to end the Iran hostage crisis would end up revealing a far greater threat. Jumping from 1968 to 1981, do we learn at all if Mason assassinated JFK? Do we learn anything about the secret operation? Do we know how Mason snapped out of that mental state of hearing numbers, being sick, headaches, and the like? It is a very curious mystery indeed. And since this is a direct sequel to Black Ops 1, surely this mystery will get some spotlight in Black Ops Cold War, but as of now, it seems like we might actually be ignoring it. That's going to cover everything in this video. If you guys were mind blown at any point and enjoyed it, let me know down below in the comments, and more importantly, smash that like button and subscribe for everything Black Ops Cold War. Thanks for